In this video, I'm going to be buying, building, and blabbing about LEGO cars from over 100 years ago, going all the way to cars being made today. So rev up your engines and LEGO. Now for all history, people have been trying to avoid walking by any means necessary, which led to the invention of the car. So I'm gonna head to a classic car show to check out some old cars from different eras that I could build in this video. And after seeing some different old cars like Corvettes, Model Ts, Model As, and Malibus, I feel like I have enough knowledge to know what to start with, which is gonna send us back to prehistoric times. This is the cave mobile from the Flintstones, and it's from the prehistoric era. It's epic because it comes with this stake that you could put on the side of their car because, you know, they only ate dinosaur meat back then. Now, the thing that's funny about this car is it's supposed to be powered by feet, but truthfully, this car never existed, but there is one that did, which was the horse and buggy, which was invented around 6,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia. They were a pretty simple design and used 4 wheels and were usually led by 2 horses. The thing that was novel about them is they had this whole back storage area you can use to carry as many people or things as you wanted. You could use them to carry safes from epic robberies you made, or booze for your severe and crippling alcohol addiction, which may be cool and all, but wait till you see the first ever functioning gas-powered car. The first ever popular car model was the Model T Ford. It was made in 1912 by Henry Ford and was a really big deal because it was made by the first ever assembly line, which made it really easy for things to be manufactured in a timely manner, and it also made it a lot cheaper to buy these cars so everyone could have one. This particular version of the Model T is one with the roof down, but it is really sharp looking and I love the gold accents. Skipping 40 years later is the 1954 Citroen convertible. This one's from a new Indiana Jones set, and it's really cool because of its front grille as well as its back wheel. As you can see, the cars now are becoming a bit more shapely and having more room for more passengers. It's also incredible because around now a lot more stuff became automatic. But what I like most is the actual storage room for stuff. This next one's just a generic convertible style set. I like LEGO's particular model here because the face just looks extremely outrageous. And there are some neat build details like the surfboard, which is used to make the white accent you see on a lot of these types of cars. These guys were very popular in the 50s, and this one's in a baby blue color. But personally, I always loved the Chevy Bel Air, and I think this is a pretty close representation of a convertible version. And it's of course being driven by Florida Man. Skipping a decade to 1961 is the LEGO Corvette. This build is very cool in particular because it uses bananas for the fenders and has actual functioning doors. It's also a great model with brakes and a functioning steering wheel. You also see the steering wheel functioning in real time. An interesting detail is how they include license plates for both Michigan and California, with the Michigan one being for Detroit, which is where most of American cars are actually made. And that's all cool, but let's shift gears to 2 years in the future. With this car, the 1963 James Bond Aston Martin. This thing has some of the coolest rims I've ever seen on a LEGO set, and it's all around one of the sleekest looking LEGO cars I've ever seen. It also has a bunch of extra license plates you can use to swap them out so that way he can't be tracked by his enemies. The car's a classic and it has over 4 seats in it to seat James Bond and his boys. But the main one is to seat James Bond. Oh right, in British cars the wheel is on the other side of the vehicle. And there's one more car from the 60s in the form of the taxi cab. This one is super duper simple, and it's based off of a 1966 taxi cab. There's no particular model it's based off of, but if you look up any from New York 60 in the time, it basically looks like that. Moving on to 1970 is a car some people would consider to be a family car, but it's Dom's Charger. This thing is super fast. It goes 155 miles per hour, and it has Dom from Fast and Furious in it. The beefed up engine on top is sick, and the rims are nuts, and the interior with all the cool engine features I've literally never seen in a car before. And I like the exhaust build feature in the back, but the neatest one has to be the use of the skates for the door handles. But moving on to the next car is the Lamborghini Countach from 1974. This one comes in all white, and LEGO just made an official big version of it. But I think this one does the job. It has a beautiful back with awesome exhaust clip pieces, and again, a gorgeous interior. I also love how they use the cone piece for the engine light in the back. These are where modern sports cars started to get their look, and that's why I love this set. This next car I built is probably the most iconic. It's the Corvette C6, otherwise known as Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow! He looks absolutely legendary, and even though he's not detailed, he's still got the rusties on him. I low-key always wanted the Lightning McQueen car bed, and I'm kinda sad I never got it. But I do have the next best thing. It's Lego Ka-chow Man, so let's get into the next set. This next car is from the 2010s, and it is the Land Rover. This guy is freaking legendary and has scientist Stephen Hawking in it. Now you might be wondering why I put him in here, and I'm glad you asked. Because there's a butt ton of room in the back seat to put a wheelchair. It fits in there perfectly, so Stephen can take his nice Sunday drives. This variant is the Defender, and it's really cool because it has this specially printed light brick. I also love the tire on the back, and the blinker lights are a nice touch. Now, ever since electric cars were invented, this guy Elon Musk has been trying to develop the ultimate electric car. And it is the Cybertruck, which is this really weirdly shaped car that is super bulky. And that got me wondering, what if I made it in Lego? Let the challenge commence. All right, and this thing's looking pretty spiffy. I loaded up with Elon to drive, and Florida Man is also in there. And out of all these cars, this has to be one of the coolest. Cars have come a long way over the last couple years, and I think making them in Lego is a cool way to showcase all the variations that they have gone through over the years. So subscribe if you want to see me do this video, but with planes. God bless and stay awesome.